What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Multiverse of Fandom podcast with Pete and Dimo.
I'm here.
Yeah, we're here. Spoiler-filled review today for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So if you haven't seen it, do not watch this right now because we're going to kind of go into everything. So that's the warning. In 3 seconds, I'm going to start. 3, 2, 1. So Wanda's dead.
A lot of people are dead.
Well, we don't know if Wanda's dead. That's like, we don't actually know yet, but it's kind of implied. But there are now, we kind of see there's like however many, the infinite number of Wandas throughout the multiverse that I'm sure they can call upon if Wanda is actually dead in Earth 616.
Yeah, not gonna lie, the movie didn't lose me as much as it probably should have, if that makes sense.
Because it was very different from the normal that normal kind of formula that we talk about a lot and everyone really talks about.
Very different.
I think
it was a very trippy movie.
Yeah, no, it was very Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Sam Raimi. Like he had it seemed like they gave him a lot of kind of free reign and creative freedom. Exactly. That where he can kind of just do his thing. And I think, I mean, overall, I think it worked.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you felt, but overall, I think it worked pretty well.
I mean, it explained the multiverse kind of, and I think if you look at it as a sequel, which I don't think a lot of people are in these reviews, from what I'm seeing, they're kind of judging it as like people were expecting this to be like the biggest thing, that's what I felt. And
I did too, because it also felt rushed.
It was rushed.
It was only 2 hours and 6 minutes. I think you need a little bit longer to kind of flesh out a multiverse, because remember when and I think because it was Spider-Man No Way Home and then this is the next MCU movie. So following No Way Home, I feel like there was a lot of rumors of a lot of different cameos. Like Deadpool, we didn't see Deadpool, which was kind of surprising, because if Deadpool, was talked about to be maybe that Stan Lee role of showing up in every movie, and I feel like this would have been the perfect movie to maybe have him like his first appearance in the X-Men, maybe Spider-Man. Like there was a lot of different. There was a rumor that Ben Affleck might come back as Daredevil.
I feel like they wanted to keep this as serious as possible.
Yeah.
While maintaining there were some funny moments.
No, yeah, I mean, for sure, but there were some dark moments.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting the horror aspect of it. Like you don't get that like edge of your seat thing for the most part. You kind of know what's going on or what's going to happen.
Yeah,
there isn't much of a cliffhanger during the Marvel movies like there isn't like a Resident Evil.
Yeah, well, I think they put, because it was still rated PG-13.
PG-13,
but it pushed that line like very close, I think, to rated R. Like, if there's different angles of different of certain scenes,
people getting their necks basically dislodged
or getting cut in half, or all that stuff, like that's crazy. And Wanda having all the blood on her, but by far, I think, kind of speaking of Wanda, by far, I think she was the best character in the movie.
Okay.
I think her as a villain was very like compelling as a story. She was very like captivating. Her whole like that beginning scene of her in that field with the trees, like I think it was the apple trees or something.
Mm-hmm.
Where she was like trying to play it cool. She kind of lets it slip and tells Doctor Strange, the girl, America Chavez's name before he even mentions it.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was a very cool kind of aspect. It was kind of unfortunate because we watched WandaVision, she goes through this whole kind of ordeal of Westview. She gets her children. She's doing it because she lost vision. So she's really not caught a break. Like she's gone from low to even lower in this movie, emotionally wise and all of that.
I've never seen WandaVision, so
Oh, you didn't see it?
I've never seen even
Wow.
an episode. So I don't know. I didn't feel too lost, but we got an evil Wanda here, right? So we saw more of that than we did of the good Wanda.
Yeah, which we like, yeah, because we kind of obviously Age of Ultron, she was like evil Wanda,
Mm,
and then she's kind of coming up, like redeeming herself, and then now it's just these last two appearances in WandaVision and Doctor Strange shot down.
yeah, yeah.
But I honestly think she like she made the movie for me more than like Doctor Strange himself. I feel like Doctor Strange, although there were some cool parts in the movie in general, like about Doctor Strange, but I feel like it was way more about Wanda.
Yeah, there was a lot of her. I don't know. I was from the trailer, I was expecting more in depth, Nate, like more in depth talking about the multiverse, but they didn't. They showed, they didn't
Yeah,
tell. There was a lot of showing. So
yeah,
I give Sam Raimi and whoever wrote this movie credit for that. They definitely showed, they didn't tell, which is good as a storyteller. You don't want to, you want to show the audience they have something to look at as opposed to having characters talk about it, which we've seen in other movies.
and they kind of did that in Spider-Man. They just talked about the multiverse a lot.
Yeah.
We didn't really see much about the multiverse.
Yeah, but that works as a setup for
But
this.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I don't know. To me, I see this movie as kind of like a monument. You know what I mean? Or like I don't know what a good explanation is for, like a signpost where you can kind of go back and refer to it if you have
Yeah,
to. It's not necessarily like in the conversation for like a top five, but it wasn't
yeah.
bad. But
No, no, no. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you on that.
I think it's definitely, and you could see in the theater, I think the Marvel nerds are really gonna, enjoy this movie, especially when it comes out
Yeah.
on streaming. You're gonna see a lot of people getting into it, all the theories and stuff like that.
I honestly think this, this could, it might be a toss up between No Way Home and this and Doctor Strange, but I think Multiverse of Madness is probably the most important movie of Phase 4 thus far,
Okay.
because we've had No Way Home, Doctor Strange, to Black Widow, Eternals, and I believe just Shang-Chi
Shang-Chi, yeah.
were the only movies. Like Black Widow's like more phase 3, I think, than anything, because it's takes place after Civil War. Um Shang-Chi is more of like that setup movie. It's a good movie introducing a new character. Eternals is kind of just a mess. I think rewatchability of that movie is kind of low.
Watchability is low. I'm never gonna see that movie.
Yeah, it's so like some of the characters are interesting, and some of the characters are like some of the aspects of it is like interesting, but there's just so much going on that I don't want to kind of go into that again. That obviously No Way Home is that huge like fan service, but I feel like this movie is probably the most important, and maybe even shows like a direction going forward for the MCU, which has kind of been up in the air a little bit since the Infinity Saga ended.
This is crazy. And this we're kind of taking a side road here briefly, but there's 82 separate items of content in the MCU. 82. We're talking TV seasons or movies altogether. 82.
Does that include like individual episodes or just like the one
No,
season, like the
that
show?
includes that here. Digitalspy.com has an entire Marvel rundown.
Yeah.
And if you like number 70, Runaways season 3. So this is for like the people that want to sit down and watch Agent of Shield.
Oh, all of it. I gotcha.
Everything.
Yeah,
It's
everything.
82.
That's crazy. That's a lot.
And it's only gonna get, but like that's ridiculous. And there's more coming. It's just like all this other crap they're
Yeah,
planning.
there's so much coming. That's crazy.
But no, Doctor Strange is the latest one in this
List.
in this little list here. What did you think of the cameos, the surprising cameos?
I was actually I was pretty happy with the cameos. Like we said earlier a little bit, like I thought there was going to be more for sure, but the cameos we did get were really cool. No one was as excited for Captain Carter. I think his name was Black Bolt.
I had no idea who that was.
I didn't either. That was like those, because there's some characters like even for DC we would know as opposed to like more of like a Marvel fan.
Yeah,
and
like
this is
Gold.
one of those things. Yeah, like that's one of the things that shows where we would know like a kind of like another character that somebody else might not know. So we didn't know who that was, and no one really. I don't think anyone in the theater really was that excited. There was a little gasp for Captain Carter. That was a really cool cameo. I don't think anybody. I don't think anybody picked up on the Captain Marvel
She
cameo.
was in James Bond.
I think she was also in Captain Marvel.
Oh, she was. I don't think I've seen Captain Marvel.
No, you did. We watched it in theaters together. Yeah, she was Maria Rambo. Maria Rambo.
I don't remember watching it
in Captain Marvel. So she was in it.
Mm-hmm.
Then, which I don't think a lot of people even really noticed. Then obviously the big one, which has been a rumor for so long, was John Krasinski as Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic.
I had no idea.
That was so cool.
I had no idea.
I've been like, I've seen so many rumors for it. Like people have been fan casting him for years now.
Uh-huh.
And I saw something on Instagram, so I got it spoiled for me, which was a little annoying, but I wasn't as like heartbroken about it because I like had the idea in my head that he was going to be in it.
Okay.
So I thought that was the best one. Everyone cheered for that one. That was like a really cool cameo. Loved that. But now it's kind of unclear, I guess, going forward, because maybe it was just a cameo, or maybe, there's obviously more Reed Richards in the multiverse, but are they all John Krasinski? That's the question.
I mean, he looks the part.
Yeah, no, he looked good.
He looks like a Reed Richards.
Yeah.
I could see him playing that role fairly well going forward.
They referenced
I mean,
the Invisible.
He's playing Reed Richards in Fantastic Four pre-production.
Oh, so it's confirmed now. Maybe
it says rumored on IMDb.
Probably because of the cameo yesterday.
Yeah.
Or in the movie, so that makes sense.
It's been a while since we had a good Fantastic Four. I don't even think we've ever had one.
I was about to say, have we ever?
I'm talking like comic books is the last time anyone's ever seen. I've never even read, but
yeah. But I'm excited overall. Like the cameos were really cool. The scene of them getting all torn apart by Wanda was like, that was wild.
Yeah, it's like, what's going on here?
I wasn't expecting that. That was like a holy shit moment. Like they got torn to shreds. Wanda was so OP in this movie.
Yeah, it was almost like borderline like overdone, but I think they pulled back a little bit after they were offing people, because after a certain point the audience is going to be like, all right, what are we watching here? But no, I think they brought the reins in, and I don't know, I think I like the first one better.
I think a lot of people had that same thought that the first one was better, but I don't disagree. I think the first one was more of a Doctor Strange story. It was about him. This was, I'm telling you, I felt like it was more of a Wanda movie, like a Scarlet Witch movie.
But I also think, like I said, going back to the signpost thing, I think it's also like they're so far into the Marvel MCU verse right now that they needed a movie like this to kind
shake it up,
to not just shake it up, but kind of explain how infinite the multiverse within the MCU is. You know? So I think that maybe the next Doctor Strange movie, if there is one, will be more Doctor Strangey.
I hope so. I mean, they did tease it. They did tease us at the end with the other um sorcerer. I looked her up earlier and now I can't remember her name, but she is apparently the I guess in the comics, Doctor Strange ends up marrying her.
Okay.
But there's like a lot going on because he had the third eye
Yeah, that was
from
also over my head.
the dark spells book, or I'm forgetting what that's called too. Um, which were all destroyed, but I guess he still had like some sort of attachment to it. So it doesn't seem like it Doctor Strange's movies, or maybe future movies that have him cameoed in them, are gonna like we're really gonna dive into the multiverse, it seems like.
Interesting.
And then one more thing. So a lot of the stuff in this movie, there's like a video of it. I've seen videos of it so much recently of Elizabeth Olsen talking about House of M, which is a comic run, a storyline by Marvel, where a lot of the things that happen in this movie happened in that, like from that book. And she says in like her interview or whatever that she would like to do like a House of M story, but she's like, I think it's too dark for Marvel. But it's literally what we saw yesterday, where she loses her kids and she kind of does like goes crazy and does anything she can to get them back. So I thought that was pretty cool that they actually did go with that, because it is a dark story, and I feel like they stayed pretty, from what I've read and what I've seen, I feel like they stayed pretty accurate to that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Marvel is kind of skirting the dark movie path here with this movie, and I don't necessarily think they need to go like the black label route like DC's considering. I think they can pretty easily blend these movies in, and I think at this point, kids 12, 13 are capable of seeing these types of movies, given the other kinds of crap that is being streamed right now.
Yeah.
No comment. But I don't think that they'll have a problem making another darker series or movie. It depends what the line is. I don't know how much blood we saw. I think
if in the background there's like a lot of videos I've seen, like today, TikToks and stuff, on the ground behind, I think it's it must be Captain Carter. There is just a massive pool of blood on the floor.
I didn't even notice it.
That's how they keep that like PG-13 rating. Like it's subtle things like that where it shows it, but your eyes not immediately drawn to that.
Where I would probably, if I had a kid, maybe not show him this movie, was where the guy lost his mouth and then
blew his head up. That was crazy.
Maybe wouldn't show my kid that, but
that was crazy.
But that was, for me, that was probably the worst thing that I saw there.
Yeah, that was pretty nuts.
The thing where Reed Richards was turned into spaghetti, that's like kind of like, that's not going to happen in real life.
Yeah.
None of this is going to happen in real life, let's be honest. But I don't know.
It was again, it's like pushing that limit a little bit and shaking things up, and they don't have to do it in every movie.
No,
but I think they definitely need to do it when it is like when it's needed for the character.
Or
like
or
Wanda,
the universe,
yeah, like Wanda, like Doctor Strange. Dealing with the multiverse is kind of like a difficult and sensitive thing, as we saw. Like the Illuminati were very careful to make sure there wasn't another incursion. So it's like a very like difficult thing, and I think that when there's something that's like that difficult, there's going to be kind of that dark aspect to it, because things don't always go to plan.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, so we saw that yesterday. We saw that in the movie. It was I think it worked good. I think Marvel did a good job.
I agree. I was saying earlier, we were walking out and someone said this is the best Marvel movie ever.
Yeah.
I don't think it was made for that purpose.
No.
I think it's a good movie. Where would I put it? I would probably put this with like a Shang-Chi.
I'd put it middle of the pack
Yeah,
of
middle
the
of the
of the
pack.
of the MCU Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think it'd be in middle of the pack, and that's fair enough.
I could see rewatching it at some point if I wanted to get a little bit more understanding. You know, there's probably a lot that went over my head and everybody else's head the first time around.
Yeah.
Um,
It kind of reminded me, and this is just the DC side of me, but it kind of reminded me of like an Injustice a little bit, just because like because clearly I think especially with this movie, this was I feel like the MCU's way of saying that the Scarlet Witch is the most powerful character
mm,
in the MCU. So this character loses her loved ones basically, and then goes like crazy, kind of turns evil and does whatever they can to either avenge them or get them back, whatever. And that's kind of like Injustice with Superman and him turning because Lois's death.
yeah, I could see that. It's a good comparison. I really, really like the multiverse graphics.
Yeah.
When they went through the portal and there were like all these things like I said, it's a very trippy movie, and I like to think of these Marvel movies as like an amusement park ride.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate when they break out all the stops for the visual effects, and I'm sure Thor is going to be even better.
There were though a few, because there like I feel like the MCU recently has had like issues a little bit with CGI. There were definitely some parts of it. I think when they were traveling through the multiverse, that seemed a little that didn't seem like 100%, I guess. But overall,
Interesting.
yeah,
I
it
didn't
was.
notice it. Maybe they didn't have the highest budget.
Yeah, I don't know, but overall, I think the CGI was really good. That's just me
Yeah.
nitpicking a little bit. It's not a
Yeah,
big deal.
yeah, I agree. It was a good experience, I think.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
cool.
Something maybe I would probably have seen in an IMAX.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not complaining, but it's difficult to find an IMAX around here, unfortunately.
yeah,
But I think we were talking about the Batman and movies that are good to see in a theater. This one's probably good to see in a theater,
yeah,
I think.
yeah. And yeah. Now that there's so many movies going to streaming, and you have that option, this was like this one because it had a little bit of that fan service too. With the cameos, it was cool to see that in the theater. No Way Home was obviously a great experience to see in theaters. Um, the Batman,
Mhm.
but honestly, a lot of MCU movies were good in theaters, so I'm not
Yeah.
surprised that this one is.
I think it's just, it's a blockbuster. You want to see it on a big screen, like
Yeah.
a big one. And I mean, I think that watching things at home is good if the movie's really long
Hmm.
and you're someone that kind of needs breaks. And I don't think this movie was one where you really wanted to leave.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because it was only 2 hours and 6 minutes. There was like a lot of stuff packed into that 2 hours and 6 minutes, and there were certain times where people were getting up, and I was like, "This seems like not the right time for people to get up." Like
Yeah.
some people left right before he walked into the to see the Illuminati and missed the Mr. Fantastic reveal. I was like, "What is going on?"
Yeah. There's this website that'll do I don't know if it's available the night of, but they do, I forget what it's
Best
called.
like best time to take a break or
A pee
something.
break, yeah. And it'll give you, and I remember I did it for Batman versus Superman, and there was like one at like 20 minutes in, and it's like 2 minutes long. I'm like, fuck,
Yeah, like what am I going to do with this?
yeah, 2 minutes. It's gonna take me 2 minutes to get to the urinal, the stall, whatever.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What do you think for a rating for Doctor Strange?
7.5. And
Yeah.
that's I'm generous.
So yeah, okay. I mean, I'd agree with that. 7.5 out of
I'm
10.
I'm being generous because I was entertained.
Yeah, it was entertaining, I will say.
Um, The only reason I liked the first one better is there was more exposition. So you
Mm,
got the origin story. All that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, of course.
This seemed like it could have been a third movie.
Right? Yeah, it
Yeah.
did seem like that with the
That's probably
because
because we
it
didn't have enough Doctor Strange in it, you know.
true.
It is a Doctor Strange movie, but it's Doctor Strange and
Yeah.
the Multiverse of Madness. That's where your Wanda is. But what was the
Yeah.
first one? Just called Doctor Strange?
Yeah. So
Yeah, 7.5.
yeah, I mean
I
I
probably
think
rate the
that's
first one an 8.
yeah, that's fair. I think that I agree with you 100% on that. It was definitely entertaining. I don't think there was not a part I don't think where I wasn't like captivated. You know, it was from the beginning, like right at the start there was action, and then you know it just kept that pace. I feel like you think it's going to kind of slow down when he first sees Wanda, when he first goes to Wanda, but then it's like, oh no, we're still going. Like it's still going. So I was actually like happy about that. Like it didn't feel like there was any like
No, I didn't think
down
there was.
moments.
I don't think I was bored at any point. I think I was looking at the time occasionally, um, but this wasn't like
Yeah. Well, I think too though a lot of people, even though there wasn't a lot of those down moments, a lot of people were disappointed because of all the rumored cameos and the hype around the movie
this is why I
that
try not to
didn't
get
show up.
yeah. This is why I try not
Well,
to get too involved.
yeah, but it's like even if it's not like I see them all, I obviously get excited. And I'm talking about it here saying I thought there was going to be more cameos, but it didn't affect my experience or my kind of rating for the movie because people have so many theories online on Twitter and stuff, and just so much that the kind of like the fans talk about and what they think is gonna the movie's gonna be about, and so many times that's just when you think about it, it's really like outlandish to think that because the movie only has a certain budget. You can't have all these people cameoing in it.
Yeah, I'm sure Krasinski was 5 or 6 million just for that 15 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm talking out of my ass. I don't know if it was that much, but
No, but you would assume like he's probably getting, especially if he's going to be the MCU's Mr. Fantastic. You'd assume he's probably getting paid a good amount.
I think the way that it works now, the way that it used to work was, and this is from I'm getting all this from the show Entourage, so it may not be true, but an actor has or actress has a quote,
Uh,
and your quote's based on your market value. So Johnny Depp, random name here, maybe his quote at one point was 10 million.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So whatever you want him in, you got to pay him his quote. I think the way it works for Marvel is they sign you on as a package deal. So you get paid a certain amount of money
for
for
how many
whatever it is,
movies?
3 movies,
Yeah,
2 cameos.
gotcha.
Let's say random, and maybe that's how it works.
Interesting.
I think that's how it works,
Interesting.
because it would be kind of stupid to like 5 million for 15 minutes.
Yeah. But was it even 15 minutes? It may have been less.
I don't know.
He was
I don't know.
spaghetti on the floor if it was a full 15 minutes.
Yeah, spaghetti on the floor. Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, like now it's going to be pretty interesting to see the future of these movies like going forward, because now we have to see kind of what the deal is with Wanda. Scarlet Witch may be no more in this main cinematic like Earth. So yeah, I mean, overall, I thought it was a good movie. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it.
I agree. I don't have anything else.
Uh, I hope you guys enjoyed this movie because as much as we did, we thought it was overall just a good time. And I think one thing to learn is don't have a lot of expectation for cameos in these movies because a
Yeah.
lot of the time they're not going to come true, especially
Yeah.
coming off of the high we just had of No Way Home, where we got everything that we wanted. This one was just kind of like, all right, let's set the expectations back to a normal amount now.
Yeah, holy, like I told you in theater, I had no idea that there even was, like, I had seen the fan edits of him, you know, the 13 hours movie.
Yeah.
They edited that pose into the suit.
Which the suit I feel like looks similar to even some of the fan edits, which was
It
kind of
does.
cool.
Yeah, the pictures online, like the guy looks just like he did in the movie.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty interesting.
I think he's a good choice for. I would see Fantastic Four if he's leading it. I hope his wife gets the role of the girl.
That was
cool.
yeah, the Invisible Woman. That was the that's the rumor for that too. So
or they could have her. Pam. They could have Pam do it.
Pam, that would be
That'd
so
be hilarious.
funny. That would be really funny.
Pam.
That would be really funny. Also, kind of final note, it's Free Comic Book Day today, Saturday, the 7th. I went to the comic book store today, got some cool stuff.
What they have?
The one I'm like most looking forward to is the Dark Crisis issue 0, which is it's the their new event now that it's the death of the Justice League, which I said I was going to talk about today, but we forgot Doctor Strange is this weekend, and we wanted to dedicate this episode to.
Why do I remember us going to Free Comic Book Day in the summer last year?
We did. It was in August last year because of there was COVID, like the new variant in May, so they pushed it to August.
That's right.
So yeah, now it's back to May, which is I think the normal time that they usually do it. But the next time we do the podcast, I will do a kind of like an overview of Death of the Justice League and issue 0 of Dark Crisis. We were meant to do that today, but Doctor Strange took priority.
Doctor Strange.
But yeah, is that all you got today?
That's all I got today, guys.
All right.
I'm here.
Thanks, guys, for listening. Thanks for watching. And we will see you next time on the podcast. Peace.